I got a question from a student on how to study for AP US history. When we think about studying for history or social study classes, we put heavy emphasis on memorization. Memorization is indeed important skills, but you also need to be able to summarize and contextualize information to relate new and old information. The problem with only focusing on memorization is that you stop your thinking process once you finish memorizing. You no longer make an effort to expand your thinking process by associating new and old information together, and this will not be enough to interpret and evaluate complex information for your test. If you memorize without contextualizing information, it will take not only longer for you to memorize information, but also lose information at a much faster rate. In today's video, we'll be using 3 strategies to effectively process large amount of information and organize them to make our learning more enjoyable. When you read information for the first time, don't jump right into memorizing. First, identify the title and subheadings and attach 1 or 2 key terms for each. When you attach key terms, it will be much easier for you to retrieve that information since you define the new term in your own words to make that information no longer new to you. Our brain likes to remember familiar information. When you make your learning more relevant to you, your studying will only get easier and require less time to master different concepts. For example, if you're learning about mercantilism, instead of memorizing the definition word to word, replace the long and boring definition to simple key terms such as Europe and more trade. When you memorize information that is totally new or irrelevant to you, it would take much more effort and energy for your brain to absorb that information. To make learning easier, use key terms to redefine the definition that is easier for your brain to memorize. Your main focus before memorizing anything should be on how can I make this information relevant and simple enough so that it doesn't feel like I'm memorizing. When you memorize textbook definition, you're borrowing that knowledge, but when you memorize definition in your own words, now you'll be owning that information. Now, let's talk about which information to focus on. When you read large text, you can focus on every single detail that is in the text. So you have to focus on core information that holds the main structure in the text. Go back to your title and subheadings and put a question mark. As you read through the text, you will find the answer to the question mark, and that will be the core information. Once you find core information, highlight them. This becomes very useful once you finish studying the chapter, since you will be able to look at all of the core information and see how this information is related to each other. This way, you'll be able to know which information is more important to focus on. You're not memorizing yet. Give yourself enough time to think about how they are connected and relevant to your prior knowledge. When you spend enough time thinking about the relationship between different events and backgrounds, you'll have a bigger understanding of the whole picture and the ability to show analytical thinking on your test. Once you finish using keywords and sort out core information from the text, it is time for you to make a movie in your own words. When your friend asks you to summarize a movie, you will not just say the ending. You will start from the beginning and talk about the important events and share a whole story about the movie. One of the reasons why we remember movies for a long time is that it is a form of a story, not just a list of events. Story holds meaning, and meaningful information will stay in your brain for a longer time. When you memorize, don't write notes just listing events. Write notes as if you're explaining a movie to your friend and visualize it in your head as if you're watching a movie. This is also why mind mapping is so effective, since it allows you to visualize the information as a story. The more information you have on your plate, the easier it is for you to get overwhelmed. Therefore, simplify your learning by building a strong foundation using key terms, focusing on core information, and creating a story that helps you to visualize the information in a more meaningful way. I wish you the best luck, and thank you so much for watching this video. You got this.